Good day, good day, good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of Cayonne Wellness Talks. My name is Ramona, and today we've got something very exciting for you. And this one I'm really excited about, simply because I've heard the word a lot, but I don't know much about it. And today we're going to be talking about shamanism, and I'm going to be bringing in a new friend of mine. Her name is Brittany Mack, and she's going to tell us all about it. So let's bring Brittany in. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. A little bit of technical difficulties on my side here this morning, but thank you for your patience and thank you for joining us here.
I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So, first of all, I guess is the proper term a shaman or how is it pronounced?
Shaman.
Is a shaman. Okay. So tell me, what is a shaman? What do you do?
So, as far as what I do is I kind of go and find root causes, is the easiest, simplest way to put it. You know, energy is everywhere, energy is everything, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, if we get in a car wreck or, we go through this bad breakup and we have these, soul connections to, other beings,
Hmm.
I can kind of go in and release trauma or, cut ties for you. So you're not continuing on, carrying, those cords along with you in your day to day.
Okay.
People get in a car wreck or, things like that that impacts the body. The
Hmm.
energy has to be stored somewhere.
Right.
So, it goes somewhere in the body where you were injured. People that have a lot of anxiety or depression, even, addictions, I
Oh,
can
wow.
go in and I can follow the energy and trace it and just try to rewire,
Mm-hmm.
the energetic body so that when you come out of a session, you can kind of take those first steps and a fresh start. You
Okay.
know, you can work with, chronic pain. There's different techniques to, help cancer patients.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
use, in my personal practice, I use, different modalities such as Reiki as well,
Mm-hmm.
which I know, you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Um, we have like kind of, have you ever heard the term like generational curses?
Yes. Yes.
So there's lots of, different ways to go about that as well. Say your grandpa was an alcoholic, great grandpa was an alcoholic, you're struggling with alcoholism,
Mhm.
that's a generational pattern. And the tie there needs to be broken so that it can kind of end with you and
Right.
the family line doesn't continue on this pattern.
Fascinating. So, into what would a typical session look like?
So a typical session, can vary slightly depending on what you want to bring to the table.
Okay.
I always tell my clients too, I can bring things up for you. I can bring it to the surface. I can
Mm-hmm.
help, alleviate symptoms, pains, all types of issues. But if you walk out of my session and let's say, don't change, some of your habits or some of your ways of thinking, you are creating that energy to come right back. So it's not just, a one all. This is a two-way street. I
Right.
can help you and I can go down, and figure and trace, the energy patterns. But if you're not willing to do your part and carry the weight too,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to get but so far. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say someone came to you after a car accident. What would what would be their part that they would need to would it be more of a mindset, like not always thinking like, oh, I'm in so much pain or oh, this is so hard? Would it be more of they have to have a positive mindset as well?
Yeah, exactly. So let's just say, it wasn't like a tragic car accident or anything,
Hmm.
maybe they broke an arm, so they're having some shoulder pains, just,
Okay.
constantly, from that. And they're just terrified now. They're kind of living in fear every time they get in the car, every time they put on a seatbelt or
Gotcha.
get on the road.
Yeah.
So something like that, I can go in and help with the pain. I can clear out, if there's any scar tissue, I can clear out the energy from the site. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, when you wake up and come out of session, you have to have that mindset thinking that, today's a good day. It's going to be fine. I'm going to get in my
Right.
car and I'm just going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to come home and I'm going to put my groceries away.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking, oh no, like if I get in my car, is somebody going to hit me? What's going to
Yeah.
happen today?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So in a typical session, if someone were to sit with you, it can include different modalities. I know you mentioned Reiki, which could be a hands-on or hovering over healing.
Correct.
Anything else? Like what would, if I came in to see you, is there anything that I would need to do to prepare as a client?
No, not at all. So we would usually sit down for a few minutes and you can kind of, inform me and let me know whatever to your level of comfort is and, what you want
Hmm.
to work on for that day. I'll have you lay down on my table, which is just
Okay.
like a massage table or Reiki
Right.
table.
Yeah.
It's usually like low lights. It's very serene, calm settings. I'll have some candles lit, some incense. I might go around you before I really begin, and do some sound healing with sound bowls,
Ooh.
just to kind of get you to relax in that
Yes.
state so that you can, just be at peace. And then it'll be easier for me to work in your energy field as well that way,
Mm-hmm.
because there
Okay.
won't be as much resistance, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so usually I have a mesa and I have various crystals and stones and different tools in my mesa that I would use. So really just depending on what's kind of coming up. At first, I would just kind of scan your body,
Mm-hmm.
see if there's any like cords, connected. Say, you might have a cord in the heart chakra, coming out or something. Or I'm also channeling and
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously. So I might, there might be like a piece of a sword or like, let's see, I've found, like tree trunks or pieces of trees, left
Mm-hmm.
in people from past lives. So if anything kind of comes about quickly as I'm scanning the body,
Yeah.
go ahead, and I'll ask you, hey, I'm finding this. Would you like me to remove it for you? Or would you,
Right.
prefer to keep it? If there's a cord, I can kind of trace the energy and find out, what the cord's connected to. Sometimes it could
Mm-hmm.
be grandma or, an ex-lover, various things. So when I find that, I can be like, hey, I found this cord. I think it's connected to so and so.
Yeah.
Do we want to do something about it today? Or are you comfortable
Yes.
keeping it? So we kind of work, through that. And then once we kind of cover and get a good fresh start
Mm-hmm.
where the energetic body is a little bit more cleared out,
Right.
I can work on your specific issue that you wanted to bring to the table. So let's say we're working on anxiety. This
Mm-hmm.
person's just had anxiety for forever.
Yeah.
Anxiety is usually a fear based emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I will do is kind of ask you to pick one of my stones. I'll kind of hold them for you and just say, whatever stone resonates with you,
Right.
grab it for me. And I'll have you blow into the stone 3 times. But as you're blowing into the stone, you're really trying to pull up that emotion of fear and anxiety, either what it feels like in the body, or if maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's, some people can have a hard time like physically bringing up the feeling because they're in
Yes.
such a relaxed environment. So sometimes it's helpful to just kind of run those thoughts through your head of, those triggering thoughts of, they kind of eat away at the brain sometimes.
Right.
So you can kind of bring those up, and like when you kind of get it there, you can blow into the stone, and what you're really doing is taking that energy and you're releasing
Mm-hmm.
into the stone. And with that, when that little part is finished, I will usually scan the body again and see where you're kind of holding the most fear in the body.
Okay.
And I'll place that stone on that chakra that corresponds, that's kind of housing that emotion for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of, just relax, keep your eyes closed, and you know, try to keep that feeling up if you can for as long as you can, as I
Right.
continuously go into the energetic body to work and clear it and pull it all the way out for you. And
Okay.
we'll have different like steps. So I'll be like, hey, how are you feeling right now? And I'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm still feeling it. I'm feeling a little nauseous, or like my head's a
Hmm.
little woozy. Like I'm still
Hmm.
feeling that emotion. And so we kind of work down until, I use a number scale. So I'm like, we're at a 10 right now. So, where are we at now? And they'll be like, oh, I'm like at a
Yeah.
5. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Like, let's keep working and try to get it down to like a 2 or 1 or a
Right.
0.
Right.
Um, Sometimes clients have reported actually being a little nauseous. Some clients go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and it all really varies about the person. And it also depends on how much heavy emotions are
Right.
stored in the
Yeah.
body. So it's very common to, feel a little woozy, or kind of
Because
like you're on
energy's
a,
moving around.
right. Yeah. Like you're on
Yeah.
a ship, a little
Yes.
bit, or
Yeah.
um, I
Yeah.
know when I've worked with a shaman years ago, I was personally feeling like, my eyes were closed and I'm in that state of
Mm-hmm.
being, but it felt like I was spinning, like my whole body was spinning on the table.
Okay.
So it really just depends, what we're holding and how much we're releasing at the same time. So you can
Right.
kind of go through different little feelings. Some people just go to sleep, and when they wake up, they're like, I don't know what you did, but I feel amazing.
Yes. Yeah. That would probably be me because I don't know what I would come in for, but I would just be like, come in and do what you do and take out
Yeah.
whatever needs to be taken out.
I also really enjoy doing soul retrievals.
Oh, tell me about that.
So I think that's really interesting. And I think it's probably one of my favoriteest aspects of shamanic healings.
Okay.
So, you know, when we go, just go through things, we can leave little fragments of our soul behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've seen it happen in like a client where they were like 3 years old and their parents got divorced, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
then they started going to separate homes, right? Like two
Right.
homes, like they internalized it as incredibly traumatic for them at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So they left a piece of the soul fragment when the family was together at like 3, because that's when they were their happiest. They wanted
Right.
to harbor and remember, that connectedness.
Yeah.
So, and there, it can happen for all types of situations.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen, in past lives. They say, our words are spells, right? So when we say things, in partnerships with people, oh, I'm going to be with you forever. I will always
Yes.
find you. I'm going to find you over and over again.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
You're never going to leave me. I'm never going to leave you.
it holds weight, and a lot of
It does.
times people will drop their soul fragment, like just little tiny slivers of the
Mhm.
soul, so that they can find them over and over again. And so what I
Right.
can do is kind of go and find that piece of fragment. I've had lots of clients who've retrieved soul retrievals, and they always say, I didn't realize how empty I was feeling until you did
Hmm.
that. I just feel so whole now and so complete. Um,
Hmm.
so it's really amazing
Yeah.
to go through, different sessions with everybody and just kind of see, their feedback and things too. It's just
Right.
really cool.
And is that the soul retrieval? Is that incorporated in part of a shamanism session?
Yes, it can be.
Okay.
If you need one at the
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
depending on, every situation's different. So,
Hmm.
somebody might not need one for a car injury to the shoulder, like I was
Right.
saying, but they
Right.
might need it, when they were married for 32 years
Yes.
and now
Yeah.
they're learning how to live life again.
Yeah. Yeah. That is fascinating. And it reminds me, and I wish I knew the exact context because I read it so many years ago. So I only know a little bit of it. But there is some sort of a sect or a subsect of a culture, and I think it's an Indian culture that they say when, and I feel like it was specifically women, when women either got divorced or got widowed, that they stayed celibate for 1 month of every year that they were in the relationship, simply to completely purge the body of the energies and let the energies release. And it sort of reminds me a little bit of what you're talking about between chords and those fragments of the soul too, of really releasing all that energy before you move on to something else. I always
Yeah,
found that very fascinating.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
speaking of that in general, it's really important to be mindful, of our partners.
Hmm. Yes. I say that a lot. Sacred energy exchange.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very serious and
Yeah.
it's powerful, but only used in the right way.
That's right. That's right. I was going to ask you a quick question. How long have you been doing this now?
So I kind of jumped into my or my healing journey, I should say, more serious, more consistent and deeper back in 2018.
Okay.
I
All
kind of
right.
came out of, an abusive relationship and, kind of just that rock bottom of, who
Mm-hmm.
am I? What do I want in this life? What am I doing? And so I had a friend who was like, call my shaman friend, call my shaman friend. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, what do I have to lose, right?
Yeah.
So I started working real consistently on a weekly basis with my shaman teacher
Mm-hmm.
and for my own personal healing. And then right around COVID, I was like, I was feeling good about myself and feeling in a really good place. I'd purged so much and done a lot of inner deep
Mm-hmm.
healing. And I was like, I think I really want to learn Reiki.
Right.
And so I kind of got in. I started in baby steps. I started, with my Reiki, my 1, 2, my
Yep.
masters. I did a couple different styles of Reiki. And then I just kind of started from there taking classes when they were offered,
Mm-hmm.
sound healing, crystal healing,
Awesome.
just, different things,
Yeah.
Tarot 101, you know what I mean? Just baby steps of all these different types of
Different
classes.
modalities. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then back in 22, I was asked by my shaman teacher, I'd kind of not joked around, but, kind of dropped seeds like, hey, you should teach a shaman class.
Yes.
Um, Reiki was and is amazing. I love using it. I love providing Reiki, to friends, family, clients. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful modality for
It is.
healing.
Yeah.
But something about it, even after I completed my master's, I just felt so pulled that I was supposed to do more than just provide Reiki as a healer.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And, I'd wake up in dreams, I would just, my thoughts, like everything about my day to day, the universe was like, you need to do more. You need
Yes.
to do more.
I love it.
So I kept dropping the little seeds, like, I would pay you if you taught, shaman classes. I would really love to learn from you. It would be helpful if I didn't have to go to Peru.
Yes.
Um, and so it just kind of evolved and happened. And then I took the traditional medicine wheel in the Peruvian shamanic healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a year-long course.
Oh, okay.
And so, I, over the course of a year, I took that class and, practiced and
Mm-hmm.
worked with people. And then I also took the Nusta Carpe shamanic healing classes and also got certified in that. So that's working more with the Seven Sisters, Pleiades, and the
Yep.
Seven Sisters. So that goes a little bit deeper
Mm-hmm.
than just their traditional medicine will.
Okay.
So I'm officially certified in both of those shamanic healings.
All
What I
right.
haven't completed to date quite yet is taking my trip over to Peru and getting initiated in plant medicine.
Okay.
It is on the list of things to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I just haven't been crazy pulled to do it as of yet. I'm just, having
Yep.
fun here, helping
Yes.
people heal.
Yeah.
And I'm not really in a place where I don't, where I want to host like plant medicine ceremonies
Right.
at the
Right.
moment. So So that is in the works, one day.
Mm,
But as of right now, I'm just enjoying being a shaman, being a mom, living life, helping people heal.
yeah. And I think that you said the most important thing, which is helping people heal. And, I feel the same way with whether I do Reiki or even through my card readings. My sole purpose is to be here to give you that guidance that is from above and to spew out. And we're just here to help people. So I love that.
Absolutely. I love
I
it
love
so
that.
much.
So, Brittany, how can people find you?
So I am on Facebook. You can just kind of search my name, Brittany Mack, on
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
And I have an email address as well, B, like as in the B, B-E-E, bhealed@gmail.com.
BEEHEAL at gmail.com.
Yeah, or healed
Okay.
by B.
Healed by B.
Yep.
Okay. I will put that all in the information as well.
Yeah. So
Um,
for the last couple of years, I've really just, friends, family, or, somebody will
mhm.
know somebody and send them my way. But this year, I'm really trying to put my energy work
It's
into the
time.
forefront. It's time. I'm
Yeah.
definitely being called.
Yes.
As my main source of income and what I do is I have a cleaning business, a
Hmm.
plant-based cleaning business, and it's been beautiful. It's really, it's helped me. The community's been amazing for me and my business, especially as a single mom with kids.
Right.
But this year specifically, I'm just really being called to transition and pivot and use my energy work.
The
Um,
world needs it.
it
It's
does.
time. The
It's
world
time.
really needs it. And I think as healers and light workers, we are all getting a sense of there's more. There's more. You need to be doing more. And I was speaking to someone yesterday, also within the same industry, and she's like, I don't know what it is, but I keep being told there's something big coming. There's more that you need to do and to give to people. So it's great. And even the step that you took to do this with me and talk about it and put yourself out there, this is the time. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Great.
feel it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on and even just speaking about shamanism and teaching us. Because again, I've heard the term so many times, but didn't really understand it. But I mean, I'm ready to book. So I really appreciate you coming on and letting us know all about it.
Thanks for having me. It's been such an honor.
Anna, thank you so much. Have a fabulous day. I will be in touch with you very, very
Sounds
soon.
good.
Okay, take
Thanks.
care.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all, shamanism. I'm excited. I'm ready to book my session because it sounds fascinating. And even we as healers and light workers, we can do so much for ourselves, but it's always that step extra when we can go to others and get some additional healing done. So thank you. Thank you for joining Cayonne Wellness Talks. Today we are talking shamanism with Brittany Mack. And stay tuned because there's more to come. We will have a new wellness guest next month, and keep an eye here on the YouTube channel for the July Zodiacs coming up next week. Have a fabulous day.